I'm Lynn.
And I'm Mark.
And we're glad you joined us today.
Welcome to the Digital Marketing Hot Seat podcast,
where small business owners ask us their number one pain point digital marketing question.
And put us in the hot seat.
Hi, I'm Lynn Smargis, and I'm a content writer specializing in ghostwriting, podcast production, and SEO website content.
And I'm Mark Thackeray, and I specialize in social media marketing, specifically Facebook and Instagram ads, email marketing, and email automation.
I'm ready, Mark. Are you ready?
I sure am. Let's do this.
Hey, small business owners. We are so glad that you are back, or if you are new to the Digital Marketing Hot Seat podcast, thanks for joining us today. You're going to get to listen to small business owners putting Mark and me in the hot seat to answer their digital marketing questions. But today we're actually going to do a little bit of a digital marketing 101. But before we jump into the episode, Mark, I want to ask you, how's your digital marketing this week, and what client work are you working on or that really has your attention right now?
Oh, awesome. That's always a good question because there's always so many different things going on. So this week, one thing that we're really heavily focused on is increasing. So one of our clients has been marketing on Facebook and Instagram. They're building out different, their suites, basically. They're salon suites that you can own, so if you're a stylist, or if you're any beauty professional can come and basically lease out this suite. And so we've gotten to the point where we've reached a certain audience, and we're scaling it up from there. And so we're really diving into where they are at their current situation. Are these people that, because it's still in the build out phase, it's not, the construction hasn't finished, and so we're basically pre-leasing these suites. And we've captured a number of different email addresses and contact information. And so it's a combination of diving deeper into what their current situation is, where they'd like to be in the future, and how we can facilitate that process for them. And so it's a combination really of Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and then some email marketing follow-up. So yeah, that's always a lot of fun because it's fun to see. I just love to see what small changes you can make to really drive more interest in someone's business. But Lynn, how about you? What client has first off, how's the week going? I know you're knee deep in a lot of different things. And then second, what client work have you been focused on this week?
So yeah, this week is going really well. I just wrapped up ghostwriting for an 80,000 word book, which was, wow, that was big. Yeah. But it was really fun and very rewarding to know I helped a client write a book that big. But what I'm really excited about this week is that one of my clients who I do influencer marketing for, and if you don't know what influencer marketing is, basically that is help using influencers to promote your product or service. So I have a client that has 2 hotels down in Moab, Utah. If you're not familiar with Moab, it's a huge mountain biking, hiking, outdoorsy. It has Arches and Canyonlands National Park. And I've used influencers to stay at their place to help them promote and market both of their hotels. And both of their hotels have actually had their best year ever since we started doing that. So it's a really good, effective way, especially to market hotels. And so we're now talking about, now they bought another property in Arizona, and we're now talking about doing influencer marketing for their new property. So I'm super excited. So for me, what I do for my end of the influencer marketing is I go and find influencers. I look at their feeds, I interview them, I vet them. And then when I feel like they're a good fit for my client, depending on, what brand they are and stuff, then I will schedule out their time to stay at the hotel. And then I connect them with the owner, and then I follow up with the influencer to make sure that they're posting all of the things, because we have a checklist of things they need to post and write about for my client, and make sure all of that goes smoothly. So it's really fun. I love influencer marketing, and I love using it in a way that really, especially for travel, it really helps promote your hotel or your travel business. So that's been that. I'm really excited to work with that client on their new hotel.
Super cool. Yeah, I love that. So Lynn, before we dive into the episode today, why don't you tell everyone because we've been doing these digital marketing 101 episodes. So give people an overview, if maybe this is their first time listening, what these digital marketing 101 episodes are, and just a little bit more information about that.
Yeah. So if you're just tuning in for the first time on our episode 7 today, go back and check out the previous 6 episodes, because we talk about both of our businesses, what we can do for you, how we can help you solve pain points. We talk about basically what is digital marketing. We talk about SEO and social media. And then we're also next week, we have one more digital marketing 101 for this session. And that is using lead magnets to increase your email list, because we want to definitely do more education. We wanted to do education for people who are listening or watching the Digital Marketing Hot Seat podcast, because knowing what you need is half the battle. Because I have a lot of clients come to me, they're like, I know I need SEO, but where do I start? So these digital marketing 101s kind of give you a little bit of a basis of like what it is, what you might need to do to like increase that, like SEO, digital marketing, social media, that kind of thing. So we have one more coming up next week for this session, and then we're going to jump into some interviews with some small business owners and having them put us in the hot seat.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be great. And this week, this episode is all about email marketing. So we wanted to dive into this just because there's a lot of confusion around email. Some people feel very strongly opposed to email. They think that it is dead, or it has extinct, or it just doesn't work. And others are on the other side of it saying people should be sending more email. So we wanted to dive into what email marketing is all about. Is it worth your time as a business owner, entrepreneur, and what it can do for your business? So why don't we start there? Lynn, let's go do a kind of a high level, overview, purpose of email, and then why you should even consider using it.
Yeah. So email marketing, for those of you who don't know, and there may be somebody out there that doesn't know, is not like your AOL days, ladies and gentlemen. I will tell you that right now. I remember having an AOL account and being super excited that I got email. It's like, you got mail. I'm like, no way. And nowadays our email boxes are inundated. So email marketing is basically kind of like snail mail, but it's digital, right? You're sending a message to somebody via email. Of course, it's not always, it's personalized with their first name, but unless you have a personal video sending it to them, it is definitely a little less personal. But email marketing is a great way to get right in front of your customer's face without the distractions of social media. And if you send an email to somebody, it's not like an AI algorithm on social media is going to show them someone else's email first. It's always in date order. So that email is going to get sent right to your prospective client, which is really, really great. And so there's several reasons why we want to use email marketing. So Mark, do you want to talk about one of the reasons why someone wants to use email marketing?
Email, yeah, there's so many, there's so many good reasons. Obviously, I am a big proponent of email marketing. I've used it to grow my business and other businesses for the last 12, 15 years, and I think it gets overlooked because it's not the newest and latest and shiniest object out there. It's seen as, and there's a problem. Like you said, our email inboxes are overwhelmed. And part of that's our fault, right? We kind of click on too many things or subscribe to too many things, and we allow it to get that cluttered. You don't have to. You can unsubscribe and things like that, but that's kind of the way things are. But for me, it is a very, very powerful tool because it can be so inexpensive too, for one, but two, it can be a very personalized conversation. You mentioned you can personalize the first name and things like that. There's some other things that you can do with it as well, but I feel like you can have, if your writing is personalized to that person, if you know who your audience is and you take care of who's on your list, so you're only attracting those people that you really want to speak with. You're not concerned about just adding people to your list just for numbers and vanity metrics sake, but you're building a list of people that want to hear from you. Then it can be one of your biggest assets in your business, and one of the reasons for that is, I mentioned just the relationship aspect, but also email hasn't changed much. I think the first email was sent at 1971 ish. And so for the past 50 years, it's been relatively the same. Google changes their algorithm, social media changes their algorithm. All these changes are happening at lightning speed sometimes. And if that's all you do, you can get lost up a creek real quick, if you're not ready for those changes to come, which most businesses aren't. But email has stayed relatively the same, and so it's a great opportunity to focus on something that's been so stable for so long, so you can count on it that it's going to be similar in the future. But I think there's that ability to reach a client immediately. So if you're doing a time sensitive promotional offer, then you can send that out. I could write one today and send that out in the next hour and have that delivered to my audience's inboxes. Very, very cool. But you also have the ability to do an automated email system. So where if it's driven by the behavior of the user. So let's say someone goes to Lynn's website and says, oh, well, I'm interested in some of her work. And then they opt in, I opt in for a lead magnet that she's prepared. Then I get the lead magnet automatically. And then 2 days later from the time I opted in, another email comes and adds some additional value, answer some questions. Like all that can be automated through email. And think how much time you can end up saving just by putting that all together. You can overcome objections, answer questions. You can free yourself up from literally hours and hours of this every single week. And all the while you are qualifying your audience, so that they're that much more likely to do business with you. So those are a couple that come to mind. Lynn, would you add anything to that? Do you need more people visiting your website? Are you looking for higher ranking on Google searches? Or are you frustrated by the ever-changing rules of social media?
Mark and I are here to take away the headaches and stress of digital marketing with services such as website content, social media ads, and website SEO. We can provide the digital marketing magic you need to increase the number of people seeing your website and clicking on your business links.
Visit our website at www.digitalmarketinghotseat.com and hit us up on our contact page to reserve your complimentary consult. Find out how our marketing team can take the worry and hassle of digital marketing off of your plate and onto ours.
I would say one of the things that I noticed in an email marketing campaign from a nail polish company that my daughter was showing me that I signed up for, and this was like an ingenious but simple, really great email marketing, was that once I signed up for their like nail polish kit every month or whatever it was, they started sending me a series of videos and like, hey, this is how you can use this kit to like make decorations on your nails, and this is how you can use this nail polish to make like different stripes and different color coordinate. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're showing me how to use all of their products on their email, which, like you said, is a great way to automate and to keep people coming back. Like that stuff I love. Like, oh my gosh, I just bought your product and now here's like 100 ways to use it. So for me, that was really great, and I really like that. Email marketing is excellent for direct sales because, like we said before, you don't have all these other videos or whatever competing. It's just that person's inbox. So it's really great to do direct sales to somebody. So like if you're selling a book or a product or whatever it is, but it's also a great way to tell people what is going on. So if you have like an awesome webinar series coming up, or you're coming up with an online course, or you just got a new YouTube channel and you want people to subscribe, like whatever it is, social media is a great way email marketing is a great way to send that message directly to the person where they're not having a lot of other like distractions going on as far as like looking at other videos or pictures or stuff. So it's really good as far as just getting directly to your consumer or your ideal client and giving you more opportunities to do work with them, such as like, for consults, things like that. I always include my booking link, my complimentary booking link on my emails, so that if people are interested in talking more with me, they can just click right there from the email and automatically book. It doesn't matter if it's 6 a.m. or 11 p.m. They can do it in their pajamas. And that's one of the beautiful things about email marketing is people can open it up any time of the day. So, and then they can connect with you through their email marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to chime in too, because there's going to be people listening to this that think, yeah, that sounds good, but email doesn't. Like nobody wants another email. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. And I understand where that comes from. We don't want to feel overwhelmed when we look at our inbox or when we come to work or even when we come home. Like we don't want to feel overwhelmed with things to do. And that can represent, another thing to do. But my rebuttal to that would be, what if you got an email from a friend, someone you hadn't seen in 10 years, who used to be your best friend, and you just lost contact over the years, and it comes in your inbox? Are you going to say, oh, that's one email too many? I'm just going to delete it because that's it. And my point in saying that is that it's not the email, it's not the medium, it's the message, and that's what's so critical here is that people don't. Yeah, they might say they don't want another email, but they don't want another message that's irrelevant to them. They don't want, and that's what that's what spam is. It's message that they didn't ask for, they didn't sign up for. And so that's why it's so important to know your audience, to take the time to only collect email addresses of those people that are truly interested in what you do. And that's where, that's the important thing, is that it's all about the messaging when it comes to email. So let's jump in. Let's touch on real quick. There's lots of different, how do I get started? That's often a question that we'll get. And a lot of it comes down to what platforms or what software are you using for that? So Lynn, what do you recommend? Is there ones that you prefer over others? What are the options out there? What does that look like?
Yeah. So just going back really quick on the messaging, one of the things you want to just be really careful with your email marketing is not to pitch all the time, right? Like education is awesome. Like you want to educate people, send them to your blog, give them information about stuff, and then pitch them. So don't just pitch people on your email. That's when it becomes that annoying email that people are going to want to delete. So as far as platforms, I have used Constant Contact before. I have used Keep. I've used MailChimp, and I'm currently on ConvertKit. And I actually like ConvertKit the most. That's my personal preference. I know there's people who absolutely love MailChimp, and I don't like MailChimp at all, but I like ConvertKit because ConvertKit is made specifically for creators, and they give you a free account for up to 1,000 emails, which is like unheard of. And they have lots of you can make lead magnets, you can make landing pages, you can do all sorts of really great stuff on ConvertKit, and they have really good, reasonable prices. So for me, ConvertKit is actually my favorite. And Mark, you actually turned me on to ConvertKit.
Yeah, it's a good one. I, like you, I've used a lot of different ones, both for myself and for clients. And so a lot of clients have MailChimp. It's popular. A lot of some have Keep or Infusionsoft, some Constant Contact, Aweber. There's so many out there, but I agree with you. I think ConvertKit is one of the most intuitive ones. And they've put a lot of time and attention to detail in making it easy to navigate, understanding what the next step is, that sort of thing. But it's also quite robust in that you can do email broadcasts, one-time broadcasts, or you can schedule out those automated email campaigns as well. And like you said, landing pages, lead magnets, forms to embed on your website, things like that. It's super easy to use. And we will post a link of, you can sign up for, like Lynn said, sign up for a free account. It gives you up to 1,000 email contacts in there that you can send out free of charge. And we've got, it is an affiliate link. We don't get any money, but we get free email subscribers. So we get I think it's 100 free email subscribers, because we're both probably on the paid account. And so anyway, but if you want to sign up for it, just check it out. Make sure you like it first. But that's the most important thing, is that you're comfortable with it, and that you, because if it's hard to navigate, you're less likely to send anything out, and so you're missing that opportunity. So just make sure that it's compatible with what your preferences and things like that. So with that, let's talk about specific uses for email. There's a lot of ways to utilize it, and Lynn, you mentioned direct sales is a great way to do that. But you also gave the caveat that it shouldn't be a constant stream of, buy my product. Are you ready to buy my product? Why haven't you bought my product now? But it should be providing value and building that relationship. So you mentioned that. So what are some ways to do that specifically?
Yeah. So one of the things I actually really like to do is I usually write emails with the intention of sending people back to my website, because you want to get that SEO going. And one of the great ways to get people back to your website is to tell them about a most recent blog post you've written. So like for Write For You, I have a recent blog post on ghostwriting. So if somebody wants to find out more about ghostwriting, I'm creating actually a whole email campaign saying like, hey, here's questions you should ask when you are looking to hire a ghostwriter, or here are things that you want to do with your ghostwriter once you hire one. And so all of that stuff, just educating your clients, bringing them back to your website, or putting a video on there. And what a lot of people don't know is that people think like email newsletters have to be really long content. They don't. It's like 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs at the most. You don't want to put a lot of content on an email. You want to be very concise and very to the point. And so educating people, sending them to your blog is really, really important. It's also a great way, like you said, with automated ones, to sign up for a webinar, because once you once they've signed up for a webinar, you can put them on an automated series, and it automatically sends those emails to remind people to come to your webinar. And then you can do the educational webinar. And then at the end, you can pitch your book or whatever it is that you're selling. And so those are two really great ways to use email marketing to bring people back to your website or bring people to an event that you have that's upcoming. Mark, what are some of your ideas on utilizing email marketing?
Oh, email is fantastic. I think one of the ways that we use this a lot for ourselves and for my company, as well as for our clients, is to revive dead leads. So people that have inquired about products or services, but they haven't taken that next step. They've fallen off the map or the radar, and you haven't heard from them in a little while. And there's an easy way to do that. And I'll just give it to you right now, because it's so simple, and it sounds so simple that you might just dismiss it because of its simplicity. But really, all we do, we call it, it's a clear, I forget the name. We came up with some clever name and I can't even remember it, but it doesn't matter. All it is you're just asking them one question. You just say, are you still, so I'd say, Lynn, are you still interested in growing your business through Facebook ads? Mark. That's all I did. It's just a simple question that's direct to the point, and you just leave it. It's a cliffhanger that people naturally want to resolve. You're asking me a question. If someone were to ask you that in real life, you wouldn't just sit there and stay silent. Unless you're an awkward teenager, then that might happen. We've got a few of those in the house, so I know all about that. But someone were to ask you that in person, you wouldn't just stand there and be silent. You would give a response. And so that's what's so great about that, is it generally elicits some type of response, whether that's, no, we've moved on. And that's great too for you, because you can close that file and move on. You're not wasting any time and attention on that. But if they aren't, it brings it back to their attention, and they say, you know what, I've just been busy. Let's touch base next Tuesday. And you wouldn't believe how many times this works. Like, it sounds so easy and so simple that it's probably not going to work, but it does work. So I challenge you to use that this week on someone who you've lost touch with that was originally interested. But that's a great way to use email in your marketing. But you can also show case studies is a great way that I like to use it too. It's just case studies. So you're showing them how to through your help, essentially, that you can achieve certain results, and every result is going to be different. You can't guarantee anything, but you can show them, hey, this is what their business looked like before. And then you show the transformation that occurred after helping them through that process. And so it helps build credibility. You utilize social proof. It makes people a little bit more comfortable and confident in what you can do. The other thing that I would recommend using email for is to answer questions. I think I mentioned this earlier, but there's people have so many questions about doing business with you, and a lot of them have to get the answers to those questions before they say yes, before they pull out their credit card and spend money with you. And so if you can do this in an easy way, and email is probably the best way to do that, because you're not overwhelming them with, one page that has all the questions on there, although you probably should do that too on your website. But it's addressing each of those questions individually. So you can say, Lynn, there's a lot of people that, that are interested in Facebook ads, but they just don't know how to get started, or they don't know that there's really 2 or 3 things that you got to watch out for. Otherwise, you're going to be spending money down the drain really fast. And so you can answer a lot of those hesitations or those questions or possible objections in an email, and really warm them up to doing business with you and getting a better outcome as a result. So there's a few that came to mind. Lynn, would any other ones that you think of?
Yeah, actually, following off your thing with questions, a really great way to get more SEO and get more people like watching your videos on YouTube is embedding them in, and just I know a lot of people get the same basic questions from their clients, and those are the questions you want to put into video, because you're answering your clients' questions. And if those are your clients and those are their questions, other people who are going to be your clients are going to have those same questions. So it's a really great way to not just put a link in your email, but actually embed the whole video with the embed code into your email, so people can watch the video right from their email, and then you get more views on your YouTube, and then you're answering people's questions. And video, I found video emails have a much higher open rate and a much higher click-through rate than emails without video. So video is definitely a really great way to enhance your email marketing for sure.
Yeah.
Another great way is to do like a giveaway, or like promoting your live videos, or promoting like events that you're doing is great for email marketing, because once you put it on that automated system, it will remind people on a regular basis. So you don't have to go in there and constantly send out emails to remind people of your events. So it's a really great way. And then also put that share this email with a friend button on there, because that's really important, so that people can easily share your information with other people who would be interested in your event, product, or service.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I'll add to as a word of caution is, you hear all these different ideas on ways you can utilize email marketing to increase sales or reactivate dead leads or whatever the case may be. And a lot of people are going to be eager to try them all. And sometimes we'll try and do them all in one email. Please do not do that. Keep your ask very simple. Only ask them to do one thing. Our rule is only ask them to do one single thing. So don't try and say, hey, sign up for our webinar, and if you're interested, we've got a sale going on next week on this service, or, and make sure you share this with 10 people. And yeah, that's way too much. And when you're asking them to do too much, there's confusion and there's overwhelm, and then it leads to inaction. So keep it very easy, and I'll expand on that too, just a little bit, but make that next step very easy. So if you're asking them to, if they're interested in the next a product or service that just came out, just have that step very easy, in the sense that all you have to do is respond, yes, I'm interested. And that's it. And then, so you're not saying respond with, yes, I'm interested, and what day and time you can schedule a time or a call, and what exactly is your budget. You're not asking all these questions right now, because that's too much. You're asking them to do too much. If you just say, respond with yes, or respond with I'm interested, and we'll send you all the details. We'll take it from there. Like that makes it so much easier. That's all they have to do, so keep it simple, and make it easy for them to take that next step.
Yeah. And always have one focus for your email. Like you said, keep it super simple and do that one ask. And another thing, please don't do on your email, because I see this as a content writer, this like really makes me cringe, is people were writing their email and they're like, are you still with me? And I'm like, now I'm not. No. And now I'm deleting your email. I can't stand that. I don't know about you, Mark, but that just like, especially as a writer, that totally gets under my skin when I see on an email marketing content, are you still with me?
Yeah, there's things everyone has those little things that bother them. So yeah, that's funny. That's cool. So that's pretty much it. I mean, we could keep going on and on about email. There's both of us love email because we've seen how powerful it can be. So if you're not using it, please get started. Hopefully this will help you get started. If you have additional questions about it, please reach out to Lynn or I, and we can answer those questions. If you want help doing that, we can also talk to you about that, what the options are. But the basis is get started. Get started on your email marketing, because it's a very powerful asset that you should be utilizing. So Lynn, yes, what do we have on tap for next week? I know we've got a really fun one. Yeah.
Yes. So for next week, Mark, it's kind of a little bit of an extension of email marketing, because we're going to talk about lead magnets, and specifically is how you can use lead magnets to increase your email list. And so we're going to talk about lead magnets and how you can easily create one, and how you can utilize that to get more people on your email list, so you can do some email marketing to them.
Sweet. I can't wait. This is such a powerful one that, man, it really can set you apart from the competition, where everyone's just, you think of all the people out in the street that are trying to sell whatever product or service they are. And here you are answering questions, you're giving them things to look out for and how to find the best experience. And you're not like, hey, I'm a salesman. You're just providing value. It's such a great way to get in there. So I'm excited for this one. So we will stay tuned. Again, if you have questions or comments, if you would like to sign up to be a guest on the show, please fill out the form, and we will review that and see if you're a good fit. But thank you again for listening. We'll see you guys next week. We're so glad you joined us on today's episode.
Tune in each week for a new digital marketing hot seat question from a small business owner just like you.
And if you're interested in being a guest on our podcast, go to digitalmarketinghotseat.com and fill out our interview form.
And remember, make sure to like and subscribe to the Digital Marketing Hot Seat podcast on your favorite podcast player.